Hello, and welcome to Hasta La Vista, the podcast where the shade is cool, the leaves are lush, and friendship's perennial. We are your hosts. I'm Betsy Peterson.
And I'm Mandy Olson.
Two hobbyist sisters who love this plant as much as you do.
Join us each week as we dig into all things Hosta, the plant affectionately known as the friendship plant. Welcome back to Hasta La Vista. Whether you're a longtime listener or tuning in for the first time, we're so glad you're here. Today, we're thrilled to host two adventurous Hosta lovers who packed up their bags and hit the road for an unforgettable garden pilgrimage. If you've ever dreamed of mapping out a Hosta-focused road trip, this episode is for you.
In 2024, our guests turned a summer vacation into a full-blown foliage frenzy, visiting nurseries across the Midwest, all while stuffing their SUV full of leafy loot until it looked more like a rolling jungle. Please give a warm welcome to Julie Luter and Susan Ragsdale, the duo behind the Facebook group The Excellent Midwest Hosta Visit.
Welcome, Susan and Julie.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you.
All right, well, let's start at the beginning. How did the two of you meet, and how did your shared love of hostas begin?
Well, I was looking at getting into hostas. I'd already grown some myself, but I wanted to get more into hostas. And I'm halfway between Huntsville and Nashville. And the Huntsville Society, the North Alabama, looked a lot busier than the Tennessee one did. So in 2019, I went down to a meeting. It happened to be a swap meeting. And that's where I met Julie, and the rest is history.
Julie, what's your side?
So I started about 2 years before Susan at the Hosta Society of North Alabama, and I kind of got coerced into immediately pressed into office, so I didn't miss very many meetings. You know, when I met Susan, it was an absolute stick for us. I think we became friends immediately. Like kind of draws like. Every Hosta buyer has something that drives them. You know, either you want more Hosta, you want this one that you've always wanted, or you just like Hosta. And I think we stuck all three right off the top.
Well, what inspired you guys to take this epic trip together?
Julie made me do it.
Likely story, but no, we had talked about it for a couple of years and had not actually decided we would do this. And a couple of things came around, you know, with COVID and everything else, and kind of delayed us, and some family upsets. And finally, we just said, let's do it. So we did.
Had either of you done anything like this before?
Closest I came is about once a year. My daughter and I collect Breyer model horses. That's my other hobby. And we go to Breyer Fest, which is a week-long thing up in Lexington, Kentucky, once a year. And we don't get to go every year. But I told Julie, I said, with the money that takes and the money the Hosta buying takes, I'm going to have to do one every other year. So this year was Breyer's. So next year will be Hosta's. So, but that's as close as I've come. I
awesome.
didn't even go north of Nashville.
Oh, really? That's
so
great.
we had two really varied people. I've traveled most of the U.S., most of it. Susan had never been away from home, hardly.
Never been west of Mississippi, other than a flyover.
So how did you plan your route, or did you just wing it?
This is the funny part. Okay, so she's never been away from home, but she became our navigator. And she literally sat down, she bought a Rand McNally Atlas, the fold-out type, the old type. And she sat down and she mapped us out this itinerary and everything. The day that we left, I had not yet even looked at the itinerary. I did not have a clue. I bought a brand new 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander for us to take this trip in, because I needed a new car. And we took off. And I didn't realize until we got the first day under our belt that we were going to have a real intense trip. I mean, it was literally 8 hours every day driving, pretty much.
Oh my
And then
goodness.
on top of that, she wouldn't drive because it was my new car. So
He said next trip it's broken in enough I can drive it now. I feel better about it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, 8 hours a day. And how many days was it?
Well, it was 8 days total. It was supposed to be 9. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's supposed to be
that's it.
10. But we
Oh.
cut it short. But look, we had a time frame, y'all. This was so serious. The itinerary, we would literally be somewhere, and I would say 5 minutes, 3 minutes,
Time to
2 minute
go.
warning to the car, so we could go to the next place, so we could get everybody that we wanted to see into the schedule, literally. But you know
Wow.
what?
my
It worked out really good. It did. We managed it.
Who were some of the standout people or gardens along the way?
Land of the Giants. My top. I was calling it in the video. In fact, there's a video on our page where I'm crying literally, saying this is my Disneyland,
Oh,
Land of the Giants. In fact, if and when we go back, that's at the top of the list to go to, because if you're a Hosta lover and you've not been to the Land of the Giants, you have to go. I
oh.
mean, it's Disneyland for us Hosta people. It's Disneyland.
Oh
Well,
my God.
remind us where that one is.
It's in
Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's posted uniquely, so we put those two together that day.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
in Milton.
okay.
Milton. Okay.
How about you, Julie?
Favorite place that we went? Land of the Giants was great, but we visited a hybridizer that has been on my want list for a long time, and I literally could have just taken up residence on his front porch. We went by Kirkside Hostas, which is Clarence Hanna's, and y'all, we saw super big. We saw unbelievable size and shape on some hostas that you just would not believe. But when we got to Clarence's house, it's a good thing my pocketbook was not real big, because I could have left with half of what the man owned. It was just glorious to see such beautiful, big, new hybrids coming out, things that he was growing off. He's a wonderful teacher. He knows I'm coming to the AHS in Ohio, and he was like, you're coming to my house, right?
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Well, did you have any surprise detours or unforgettable encounters?
We had started on another journey of the trip because Shady Oaks, Rada, we were supposed to meet up with her, but she said, "Oh, we're going to be out of town. We're not." So Julie and I had this brilliant idea to drive by, because it was on the way to the next place, to drive by and just take a picture in her driveway and go, "Hey, we made it here, but you weren't here," nanny boo boo type thing.
Yeah.
And they were there. So
Oh.
it's like, well, we got a picture made with her to do it.
Oh.
But yeah, we thought we were going to miss them, but they actually happened to be there.
Well, that's
So
great.
that was a surprise to us.
Great.
I'm going to tattle on myself because Susan was going to do it, but I'll do it. So we went to Hornbaker's. Hornbaker's is beautiful. The gardens are beautiful. They have great plants for sale, but I did not feel good. I had low blood sugar that day, and it was not a great day for me. But anyway, we're coming out of Hornbaker's, and I am absolutely 40-year animal nurse, literally. So I am an animal person. And guess what's in the road as we leave Hornbaker's? There's a huge, huge map turtle. And when I say huge, she's
Oh.
huge.
Oh
And
my
I was afraid somebody run over her, so I got out. And Susan videotaped me. It's on the page, picking this turtle up and putting her on the side of the road. And of course, turtles do what turtles do.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And let me tell you, she was laughing so hard she couldn't hardly video me.
Oh,
It
no.
was not funny, but it was funny. It was. But
It's been
that
in
was our.
every presentation it's been in every presentation that we've done. Those images of her picking up the pin turtle.
Turtle.
Oh
I
yeah,
love
she
it.
looked like a cow on a flat rock. It was hilarious.
Well, you shared so much of the trip on Facebook. What kind of reactions did you guys get?
About like y'all, people laughing at us, in a good way, laughing with
Yeah.
us type
Yeah.
thing. Probably laughing at us too. But yeah, I mean, encouragement. Where are you going next? People that saying you got to come see me. Well, we already had the thing mapped out, so it's like, well, we'll add you to the next one, type thing.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, we were getting followed, and people were like, I've never heard of that place. So we had a bunch of the businesses reach out to us and said, thank y'all for going, and documenting all, because we've been busier since you've done this. So
Oh, I
that
bet.
was good to see, helping out businesses like that.
Did documenting it change how you experienced it?
I think so. It made us, yeah. I mean, we really we got to share it where normally it'd be just us in the car, well, where we headed to next. We got to see the reactions and all that kind of thing. So I think it did change the way that we got to see it through other people's eyes.
Yeah, a lot of people commented and came into the chat and were PMing us and, hey, where you going next? What did you see here? How was that person? Some of the people we met do not publicly invite people to their gardens or associate with people per se, out in the public market. So it was astounding to some of these people, hey, I can't believe you went there, and I was like, well, we had a great time there. I mean, a lot of them we sat down and ate with and we were there for a long time. I mean, we had a good time.
Do you have a list of where you went?
Could
do.
You
tell us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So first day we stopped at Hostas on the Bluff. That was our first stop. And then the next stop was K&K Gardens in Hillcrest. If you've never been to K&K, recommend them. Hillcrest, fabulous. This is a fabulous place to go. Wonderful couple there. And then we were at Shady Oaks at Rada's. We were at Heavenly Hosta, which is a private garden. The Hosta Dash store and Rock's Landscape, which is Rick Rock. We went to his house. Hosta Dash store is Mike Damon, and he was just, I would repeat that 100 times over. He's a great guy.
He's less than an hour from my house, and I just went and saw him this summer.
He is awesome. I love Mike.
Me same here.
Such a funny guy. He would talk Hosta until we fell over, but anyway.
Yes, he would.
The Hosta stop was our next stop, and that's the Geises. That was truly a wonderful family event. We had a great time there. And we went to Uniquely in Elroy, Wisconsin that same day. We also stopped at Miss Audrey Timner's. Miss Audrey Timner is a wonderful hybridizer and grower. Had a most beautiful garden. I ain't kidding you. Beautiful. And there's stuff on the Facebook page about that where Susan is holding a Wally's bullfrog that had, we won't name how many eyes, more than I'd ever seen. But it was a running joke about we're going to steal the Wally before we leave.
I was going to say, you could turn it into gold bullion and be just fine the rest of your life.
And then we went by Botnophilia, same day, Nick Turns. They were just wonderful. Nick is a funny guy too. And so the next day was Uniquely in their second location, which is in Milton. They have 2 locations. Land of the Giants. It was just packed every day. I can y'all. Then the next day it was Owl's Auto Body and Arboretum, which is a step off the map, ladies, if you have not been to Owl's. It's a auto body shop. Literally, you pull up and you think, where am I? Wait a minute. It's a junkyard.
We thought we were at the wrong place.
And then you go out and it's the Hosta Garden, and he has a full-sized arboretum. When I say arboretum, probably 100 acres there. And he has a fence that is, it was cross a regal. It was cross a regal grown like a barrier fence that was taller than I am. I'm 5 feet. Okay.
Whoa.
This was unreal to see. He had full-size dinosaurs in his arboretum. It was crazy.
Gosh.
But
I'm glad to hear you describe this place, because I saw on the donation list for the online auctions, was it Al's Auto Body? Is that what you said? And I thought, what is an auto body place donating a Hosta to the anyway, I just kind of moved on, but this makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, he's a hybridizer, and he has the newest Hosta out that's in like the Snake Eyes family. It's a Burlesque. That's his Hosta. So
nice.
But yeah, I mean, we went to Hornbaker's. We went to Richard Ruffier's, which is also another hybridizer. David Bowe. We went to David Bowe's house, hung out with him for several hours. I mean, we literally stayed there for half a day.
So this is before he moved to Florida then?
Yes, right before.
Okay.
Yeah, like 2 weeks later, he was moving, or less than 2 weeks. Like that next weekend or so, he was moving.
You're likely the last folks to see his garden.
We were. He didn't entertain anybody coming there. As a matter of fact, his sister, one of his sisters, Julie, I think it was, came by there and picked up some books and stuff that she wanted because they were packing and they were about to close everything up and get ready to leave. It was kind of sad. He was trying to decide what plants he could take, what plants he would leave, and basically none of he took some of the hostas, but very few. It was a blur, let me tell you. It was,
Mhm.
you know, and you have to factor in the fact that we were out like the third day. We had enough plants that at 6 o'clock in the morning we were up out in the parking lot with a garbage bag, dumping up dirt, potting up stuff, wrapping it up in paper towels and stuff, and packing it in bins. You know, we had people
So,
walking by saying, that's some beautiful plants. Boy, those are good looking plants. You know, we're dumping dirt
Oh,
off in the ditch.
so,
oh
because
We
God.
can't keep it.
you could get more room if you did bare root. Is that why you're doing
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Ah,
Yes,
okay.
we
Okay.
each bought 2 bins apiece.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
And
So,
and then you each
Very
had to go home and plant them, correct? Like
Mhm.
how long did it take to plant them all?
I think we ended up, I had a
me
count
was
of,
about 2 weeks.
yeah, took her about 2 weeks.
Oh my
176 hosta and 6 other plants.
oh my goodness.
oh, 176 hostas in the back of your SUV.
And look, some of them were so tall from like the ones from Land of the Giant. They were so tall, they stood from the floor to the top of the SUV right behind the driver's seat
Right
because that was the only place we
behind
put
the
them.
board.
I will say,
Oh,
listeners, go look this up if you haven't seen it, because they
oh,
have photos of their SUV, and I missed the first probably 3 days of your journey, and then Facebook like decided to show me your journey, and then I was hooked. And by the time you made it to David Bow's house, your SUV looked like a jungle. I mean, there was barely room for either of you or your luggage in your car. And I mean,
oh.
at some point, I remember the comments just rolling in like, where do you two even sit?
Well, it's funny you should say that. We were panicking over not having room. And I had a hard suitcase and she had a hard case.
Oh,
And we decided that it would be better to take the clothes out and put them in a garbage bag and then open the cases so the bins could sit inside the cases so they wouldn't take up any room.
Oh gosh.
And it worked. It worked.
It did. It worked real
Oh,
well.
that's funny.
you made yourself into hobos
Mm.
by throwing your suitcase in a garbage sack and using your hard cases for more
Oh,
pastas.
Worked
goodness.
so
I was
good.
ready to get rid of the clothes too if we had to. Just, put them in a trash can. Say, I got more clothes at home.
Yeah,
If we don't have room for this little bag here.
we don't even need them. Just
Nope, we didn't.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
we don't need them. We got the clothes on our back and the
no.
pastas in the back end. We were all right.
Mandy, this sounds exactly like something you and I would do.
Well, I think we should do it. Yeah,
I do
that'd be
too.
funny.
Some kind
Goodness.
of road trip. Oh my
Y'all come on
gosh.
and join us in next year.
I tell you,
Oh,
Road
You
gosh.
trips.
you may have a caravan.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That'd be
That's
so
funny.
much fun.
this
Wow.
her husband's already telling her to get a trailer, like an enclosed trailer. He's trying to
Yes.
talk her into getting an
Yeah.
enclosed trailer to pull behind. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have that much more room left in the garden
I know. I know exactly how you
That's
feel.
true. Yeah. Oh
after
my
that.
gosh.
Ladies, did any garden designs or plantings inspire you in your own spaces back home?
Miss Audrey did me. She kind of does like I actually have started doing this where you've got the hostas around the trees in a bed. And before I had well, you saw earlier my raised beds with my seedlings and things like that in it. But I'm trying to get not as much chaos gardening is what I call it, where it's like, ooh, there's a spot, let's put one there. Trying to not be as much of that, try to be a little more organized type thing. Audrey's gardens was beautiful. The way that she had it laid out and designed and landscaped, and you walk paths around. That's what I'm trying to get closer to. So Miss Audrey's the one who did me. I'd love to be like Land of Giants where there's just row upon row. But that's not going to happen here in southern Middle Tennessee. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have to say it was Miss Audrey's garden. If you ever get the opportunity to go and get invited to her house to see her garden, all I can liken it to is it looks like something out of Better Homes and Garden magazine. It's just really laid out nice. It's immaculate. I don't think I saw a weed the entire time I was there.
Mm.
Even her immature plantings of her undergrowth plants like cordalis and some other stuff, it just looked so natural. It just really looked like it'd been there all of its life, and it was so beautiful. And I told her, I said, I'm so proud of you. It's just gorgeous. won't say it wrong here. She's in her 80s. We'll do it that way.
Okay.
But she's just an avid gardener.
All right, ladies, it's time for our quiz segment we call Finish the Rhyme. We'll give you a short stanza about a hosta, and you try to guess the variety. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Okay. She struts her stuff in golden sheen, a disco vibe, a garden scene. She's young and sweet, just 17. This golden beauty is...
Dancing Queen.
Queen.
Yay!
You got it.
Okay, second one. It pops with stems in reddish sheens, bright chartreuse leaves in tidy scenes, a flashy twist on garden greens. You're looking at...
Designer jeans.
Very
You
good.
got it. Very good. Well, let's talk plants. Can you just tell us some of the 176 hostas you came home with?
Like, what were your favorite?
Yeah.
Montana Moonshine from Josh. I went specifically on this trip to get that one, and he did not disappoint. In fact, that one rode all the way back. It went in the hotel with us and rode all the way back in my lap.
Ah,
Oh.
So that was my number one, was
Oh.
Montana Moonshine.
Forgot to mention him in the country gardening gifts, Josh Space. Y'all,
yeah.
we also spent about 5 hours there. It
on the
rained on
first-
us. We actually weeded. I weeded
Mm.
when I was there because I loved it. And you just went there, so you know
I did.
it's a wonderful place.
It is.
I love Josh and them to death, and he's had some beautiful plants. Literally, he let us shop to our heart's content. I don't mind telling you, it was great.
That's very cool.
So I went kind of old school. I can't say that I went new Montana Moonshine over there. I actually came back with 2 old hostas that I really adore, and they're probably still some of my favorite. When we were gone, I ended up with a solar flare from the Geskies, Uniquely Hosta.
Yeah.
And I ended up with a really old hosta. It's called Torlatini
Oh.
from the Geisel at the Hosta stall.
Huh.
It's one you don't see every day for sure. Solar flare's a huge yellow. It's got great big yellow leaves on it that stand out, and they pie crust kind of edge, and it's got big veins. And then the Torlatini is a little bitty, I say medium, but it's a really dark, almost black color, green. And it comes up, and it's not like praying hands, but it does have an upright base stature,
Oh,
and it
okay.
does twist and turn. It's called Torlatini. You just have to look at this. But I
Oh,
did old
okay.
school.
Nice. I'm
You
gonna have
need
to look
mention
those
the one
up.
that made you cry.
Say that again.
The one that made you cry, Julie.
That was the
Do you
solar
remember?
flare.
No, that
Oh,
Ashley
you talking
gave
about
you.
Land of the Giants? Okay, I was at Land of the, and of course y'all all know
Yes.
that know anything about Land of the Giants. Ashley and Pedro are running Land of the Giants. That's Jeff's daughter, and she's just an angel. She really is. So while we were there shopping, she surprised us both with a hosta, and the hosta she surprised me with. Right before Jeff passed, I had ordered a hosta, and it had been unavailable. And I had always wanted it. And she asked me, she said, so what would you like to have if you could have anything here? And I said, I want this pasta. And she's like, okay, well, see, I knew there's just no way because this hosta's not available. I'm not going to end up with that. So we got ready to leave, and we got our hosta we had bought. And she said, I put you each a free hosta in there. And in the hosta was the one that I wanted. And I cried. I still cry when I think about it because it's really rare. It's going to come back. They sent it to TC. It's going to be out there. But the hosta's name is Karma. It's Karma, and it's a really beautiful, big, wide edge green leafed hosta. It is just really beautiful. But I just couldn't get over the fact that she had one plant, y'all, one, and she gave me a pet off this plant.
Oh.
I love you, Ashley.
Oh.
She definitely has a place in my heart.
That was
But
sweet.
Karma's doing great. It's growing.
Well, good.
Oh, awesome.
Shout
Wow.
out to Ashley.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So it sounds to me like you each had a holy grail hosta that you found along the way. Was it Montana Moonshine and Karma, or were there some others that you just were like, yes?
I did want, talking about trying to kidnap the Wally's bullfrog from Audrey's place. I was able to purchase a piece of hers this year. it's out in the garden. So I didn't get to kidnap Wally that day, but a year later, he is living a part of his life in my garden. So that would be another holy grail, is one of her Wally bullfrogs.
You've legally adopted him. That's great.
Oh, it's funny. All right, ladies, it's time to put the pedal to the metal for our lightning round. This or that, road trip edition. These are fast-paced questions inspired by your excellent Midwest Hosta visit. No overthinking, just blurt out whatever comes to mind. All right, first one. Car karaoke or quiet cruising?
Quiet cruising.
Quiet. I don't think we turned the radio on a single
wow.
time.
All right, just one more stop, or let's call it a day?
It depends. At the beginning of the trip, it was one more stop.
Yeah.
By the mid to end of the trip, it was, okay, that's it. We've got
Yeah, I bet. All right, plant tags carefully cataloged, or let's figure it out when we get home?
Oh, it's plant tags carefully cataloged. I promise you. We had a system.
I think there were 5 of mine that I had to go back and try to guess what they were. Yeah.
It's not bad out of
Everything was tagged.
174, huh? Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. That's impressive, ladies.
All right, smooth highways with the windows down or winding back roads full of surprises?
You're both laughing.
Back roads.
So we had left the Hosta Dash store. And GPS, y'all, on my vehicle is sometimes good, sometimes not. So we're going down the road and all of a sudden the road disappears. I'm telling you, they are literally paving a road in front of us. The asphalt is hot.
The roller thing.
Oh no.
We
were following the roller.
Where did the road go? Because we don't have a clue.
Oh my God.
And we were like asking, does the road keep going? Can we keep going?
Oh no.
Oh no.
So yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, at the next stop, I made her stop and we fixed her GPS. I said, we are not risking being behind on a paved road again.
Oh my
So
God.
we updated it.
Holy cow.
That's funny.
Wonder her tires did not burn or melt. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is really fresh asphalt if it's just being rolled out.
Oh, it was.
Oh my gosh. Holy cow. Julie, you have mentioned that you have a very vibrant Hosta Society of North Alabama. What kinds of events or outreach have really clicked with your members?
We have a big sale in May every year, and that's usually a very big sale. Lasts from 8 to 12. It's one day, so it's a big push. We get 5 to 7 states, come for that sale.
Wow.
And that's a big push for us for the members. They all get excited about the sale, of course. But we do a lot of other stuff too. I mean, we do, garden beautification for our members. We have a lot of potlucks, a lot of just dinner meeting, get together, hang out, that kind of thing. We try to keep our page pretty active on Facebook for members that are new, so they can put their input in or ask questions. I think that's a big thing, is having enough communication with the members. Getting the word out. We do a TV spot for the sale and things like that. We try to get everybody involved. And I mean everybody. I don't exclude anybody. A body's a body. We'll put you to work.
I love it.
The other thing is we try to have interesting things. We have speakers 6 times or 7 times, during the year. We have things that we do, that they know. Our group goes to regionals pretty good together. Usually there's between 12 and 25 of us that go out of the group, but we try to get everybody this year. I hope we have a lot more, but we try to get everybody motivated to do things. And the forum is pretty open. If you have an idea, something you want to do, we let you have the floor and we put it to the table. We try to do it.
So, have you found ways to attract younger gardeners or folks who didn't think they were plant people?
I think the sale is a big draw because we have We usually have a display, where they do some kind of, we've had, a flower arranging. We've had hypertufa. We've had all kinds of things, demos out for everybody. We have an information booth. We have 5 people that work a membership table that sit around and they talk to young people.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of volunteers that are teenagers in our group that come out and they help with the sale. So that's encouraging to other teenagers and young people to get involved. To
Yeah.
me,
Definitely. Yeah, I love all those ideas.
Mhm.
Well, how important is the social side of the club, the potlucks, the sales, the road trips, in keeping people engaged?
I think it is. I mean, you know, usually meetings, you go in and you sit, you listen to the speaker, which is good, but it's also good to alternate too, where you have people that come from outside. And then again, you've got the potlucks and that kind of thing where people can socialize a lot more than they would just sitting in a meeting room.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Getting them to talk to each other is going to work a lot better than just sitting in a chair facing forward.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
usually do a potluck when we do our plant swap too. So that, like I said, that's the first time I joined. So it was like, okay, I'm coming back for these because it was very nice. So everybody comes up, talks to you. So that's a good way to start. If you've never been in a hospice society, go join up with one. And if they don't have plant swaps, suggest a plant swap because you'll bring home something. You get rid of some of yours that you have multiples of, and you're bringing home something that you might not have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's really smart. If someone wanted to start a hospice society from scratch, what advice would you tell them?
well, start with small, 4 to 5 people, get together, get your ideas together, put the word out, and we associate with other garden clubs besides the Hosta Club, the Daylily Society that is near us, the native people that are near us. We have members that are multiple garden, associated. So it's not just us. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a varied number of people. Also, lean on the people that have that history of knowledge. That's what they're there for, and I think they feel underutilized a lot of time. There's a reason why they're in this club. There's a reason why they've been here 15 years. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they have a lot of knowledge. Don't hesitate to do that. Another thing is stay interesting in teaching people different things about hosta, like disease, growth, um, just the nature and history of hosta. People are, and I know, I told you when we went to the convention, I was even enthused by somebody you just had as a guest, Don Rawson, in his speech during the convention about hybridizing and the change in the face of hybridizing. That's just amazing. I couldn't wait to get back to tell our club, hey, guess what they're doing?
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
so I think that's important to have people that are not afraid to communicate and get those things across because there are things that people want to learn, but they're afraid to ask.
Yeah.
Mm.
Definitely. Well, we had, just about every guest at some point in the interview has said this is less about plants and more about people.
That was something that inspired our trip. Really, I mean, we had been talking, like I said, talking about it, but we had met so many people online, like Ashley and Audrey and Andrea Geske, and just people that you had met online, and you're like, well, if these people are this fabulous
Mhm.
online, think of how great they're going to be in person, and not
Yeah.
a single one disappointed. I mean,
Mhm.
Mm.
above and beyond what we even expected.
Wow.
Like Julie and I said on the trip page, we've made lifelong friends, not just hosta friends, not just trip friends, but people will go back to see whether they still had hostas or not. We would go, visit them and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But it's like you said, it's about the people.
So when we were at the convention, it amazed me because I didn't even get inside the building this year. Then 5 of these people that we have been talking about came up to me at the door, met me, hugged my neck, and said, "It sure is good to see you. I'm glad you're here." And I spent most of
Oh,
the time at the convention with them because,
yeah.
even meeting them this one time on this trip, it was a indelible footprint, you might say, in our lives.
Mhm.
And we made friendships that will last for the rest of our lives. And that's a great thing about Hosta and about people that are in Hosta.
Mhm.
It's a very touching thing. I can envision everything you just said. Wow. Wow. Hmm.
Well, what did this journey teach you about hostas or about yourselves?
That there's absolutely no way I can own every hosta out there.
But you're going to
Much as I
try.
would like to.
Yeah.
Well, you would think so, but I'm starting to run out of room.
Yeah.
No, I did realize I really like the rarities and the street hostas. And the street hostas are more work. In fact, I've got probably about 6 or 7 out there now. I need to separate some solids out from. But yeah, you need to slow down and specialize. So whether it's miniature hostas you like, whether it's streets and rarities you like, whether you want to get into hybridizing, I don't care anything about that. Jules loves the hybridizing, loves the seed starting. I just, I wait for her to grow them out and then I'll take them. But I want them. I like the streakers and rarities. That's where I'm concentrating.
Okay, that's great.
That is really good advice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what advice would you give somebody planning a similar Hosta road trip?
Plan. Don't just get on the road and drive. You could do that, but what would end up happening, which is what I was afraid was going to happen to us, is we would go by somewhere and be an hour past them and go, oh, shoot, we meant to stop at so and so back there. And now, we'd have to go out of our way, a 2-hour round trip. So you have to plan it. And the way I did it was just, Jules said I navigated, but I just picked out people that we had talked to, people that we had met, and then met online. Places I had mail ordered from, like Mike and, places like that, and said, okay, here is where this person is on my little physical road atlas. And then this is where this one is. And if it was different state, I had on the road atlas, I had the sheets torn out. This is Ohio. This is Wisconsin, and had to map it. And of course, she had to go by Google Maps too, and then go, okay, how many hours is it from this point in Ohio to this point in Ohio? Okay, that's going to take X number of times. So it actually took about 2 weeks of just laying it down and planning like that. You have to. It sounds like a lot of work, and it kind of was, but at the same time, we did have fun. So you can make it fun even though there's work involved. And I am not an organized person. Julie will tell you I am not organized at all. But I knew for this to enjoy it that we had to be organized.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Julie, you look like you've been dying to say something.
I think, the itinerary planning is excellent. We had a definite advantage in the fact that a lot of the people that we went to see, we knew, we had been communicating for years, not just, so everybody that we communicated with knew this is the date we're coming. This is the time we're going to be in your area. We got consent from them, which made it real easy because they were actually waiting on us. They were actually timing us, and they would start texting, are you close by? Are you here yet? Is everything okay? And then like when we were at Land of the Giants, it's like, it was getting dark, we were an hour from the hotel. And I was like, we got to go because we got to get on the road. We got to get to the hotel. And they were like, oh, we'll go down here and sit down and eat with us and And it's great. I mean, I love it, to do that. But we did have a good time learning. We did get all that done. And I have to say, we stayed at 7, 8, 9 hotels, 7 hotels. The hotels are great. Now, I can't say anything. They were just absolute. We would go in there beat with like when we first started with all these plants on this dolly. We lit them up to the room. I mean, we have pictures of the sink and the bathtub full of plants were watered.
I remember that.
They were really wonderful. They were really wonderful. And everybody cheered us on. Literally, even the hotels followed us.
Oh,
they cheered us on.
Oh, that's great. Well, we know this answer, but would you do it again?
Absolutely.
Here we come.
Yeah, 2026. Okay. It's on, girls. 2.0.
Are you going to do different locations or the same locations?
Some are the same. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm going back to Land of the Giants. And since
Yeah.
Uniquely is literally a hop, skip, and a jump away, we'll
Mhm.
go there. Those two I know for sure. So I got to go to Disneyland every other year. So Disney. But yeah, there'll be some different ones. We've made some new friends since then. So, but we're calling it the Excellent Midwest Hosta Visit 2.0. So
That's great.
I love it.
that's going to be. We'll probably connect it to nationals next year.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, Julie and Susan, thank you both for sharing your joy, laughter, and adventures with us today. You have shown that hosta hunting isn't just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. Do you have any parting thoughts or advice you'd like to give our listeners?
Just have fun, make friends, have fun. It's all about the journey. Literally, it was about our journey, and it's about our journey in hostas and the friends we've made along the way.
And I just have to thank you for documenting all of it on Facebook. You guys were a very bright spot on my Facebook page, and I looked forward to it every day. And, we wouldn't even be talking today if you hadn't taken that extra step of documenting everything so that everybody could follow along. So, again, thank you for doing that. That kind of raises the bar for hostas and people that are on social media. So,
It was our
You're
pleasure.
welcome.
Join us next week when we chat with Lazy Toad Farms in Clearwater, Minnesota. Be sure to follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and send us your questions or comments at hostalavistapodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, thanks for listening and
Hasta
Hasta
la
la
vista.
vista, baby.
Y'all don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything.